Hello and welcome back to the Great Unexplained Debate. I'm here with Sarah, Phil and Fred talking about ghostly phenomena. Now we've kind of been around the world and we come back to good old Blighty and your club. Everything revolves around your club, Fred.
It used to.
But no, I remember going to your club and we were doing an investigation and I was actually in your bottom dressing room and I'm sitting there thinking, you know, because Ruth Ellis is supposed to haunt there and I'm thinking, and I'm there on my own, there's no one in that part of the building. I'm going, right, come on Ruth, if you're here. And you know, sometimes in an investigation, you're convinced something is going to happen, and you suddenly you almost start getting yourself so well that I think something's going to happen. Something. And I heard this, not like that. It was actually like a woman in high heels walking. I thought, Ruth is coming. Ruth is coming. I'm sitting there. I'm going, show yourself on the stairs, Ruth. Show yourself on the stairs. If you're really hearing it get louder, and this sort of bright sort of all came down the stairs. Show yourself, and I'm getting that scared. And then it suddenly dawned on me that was the only way out. I thought, if you show yourself on the stairs, I'm actually going to have to run through you to get out of here, and I ain't going to run because I'm not that brave. But that's the point with orbs. You know, now we've kind of got a little bit. Oh, it's an orb.
Bit blasé.
I mean, we've had investigators go, what did you get? A few orbs.
And the next one was a bigger one though. That actually moved up the staircase like that.
But what are we looking for in ghostly phenomena? Because if we catch something like a figure, everyone will say, "Oh, it's too good."
I mean, the kind of thing that kind of knocks me a little bit with the old orbs of the first stage of a manifestation. Why don't we go on to then subsequently see the secondary stages and the following stages after that?
Because we deny them their first stage, Phil.
Well, that's obviously what it is, silly me. I should stop doing that.
They're
stop
saying,
doing that future.
You say this is our first stage, we'll show you the second. But think, what is the second stage? That's the whole point. No one's really explained what the second stage is to me.
It's probably an oblong.
It's an orb, a little lens, like a tadpole. An orb is the frog spawn.
That's what it is.
The second is a tadpole, then it becomes a little newt.
But I don't know. I think like what you say. I mean, orbs. A lot of them we do kind of discredit and kind of thing. But the odd one or two possibly are more interesting.
But have you ever had orbs? I mean, that you've looked at and gone, this is good. This is not dust.
I can honestly say that I don't think I have. I think we were a little bit like you in the beginning, where you were explaining there that you got excited by them. And I think when we first started, we were exactly the same. We got really excited by them. And as you've gone on, you've got more and more blasé about it. And I think sometimes you can get a little bit too blasé and you do just discredit them without really having a good look at them.
Yeah. Well, we get people, again, just quickly flicking back to the events that we run, we do get people on them. We do get people capturing pictures of orbs on them. And they come to us and say, what I've got, what is this, an orb, is it an orb? And I'm like, well, in my opinion, okay, it's this, that and the other, but don't let my opinion stop you from thinking anything you want about it. It's entirely
to your own personal judgment.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, you're talking about the second manifestation. I think I've had the second manifestation at my house. If you remember the two pictures I took in one of the big medieval rooms where a floor is no longer there, just the beams. It's when I first got the house, I was walking around just taking pictures of the rooms before I actually did any work in them. And on this floor that's no longer there was a pair of legs in armour. Zoomed in, there's a woman in a bonnet from sort of 1700 and something perhaps. And at the bottom of the picture was this sort of, it looked like a metal sort of link like this, like you would see on a train or something that hooks the carriages together. Like this, looked like a round link. And above that, there was like a pharaoh's head. And then the other picture I took, which was the other way around, there was a cavalier in full colour that you could see right through.
What Fred actually had was a fancy dress party.
Yeah, and I was a bit drunk.
I remember seeing that photograph, and I was kind of amazed at it because you could. You know, there is an argument that some people would say, "Oh, it's pareidolia, you're making stuff out," because it wasn't clear. But once you looked at it, I mean, Fred didn't say to me, "Look, there's a knight and there's a pharaoh and there's a." You looked at it and you went, "That looks like a knight's leg coming out." And Fred, that's it. But it's obvious what they were, and it is bizarre because they were actually on the floor level where the floor used to be. And that was one of the first times we thought about
The
investigating
funniest
houses.
thing was I had a camera that you put a disc in at the time, and my computer room was then on the 3rd floor upstairs. So I didn't know this stuff was there. I just took the pictures. There was nothing there when I took the pictures. I've gone upstairs, put the disc in the computer. This has come up, and the grandfather clock downstairs struck midnight. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. It couldn't have happened any worse.
But that's the thing with paranormal activity or paranormal phenomena to be caught. I mean, what do we need to catch it? Because let's face it, we've all got infrared cameras. I mean, there's millions of people out there that have got infrared cameras that try it on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
I mean, I always say to people, even if you think your house is haunted, just lock a camera off at night in one of the rooms and go to bed, because you could get some strange phenomena, whether stuff's moved or whether it hasn't. But,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we've had some fantastic stuff moving in the past. You know, I mean, Station Hotel. We've got some great stuff moving in the Station Hotel.
Yeah.
You know, and that to this day can't be explained.
I mean, and we only knew it moved by speeding the film up. It was only if you'd slowly, it was moving so gently, you actually didn't notice it was moving. It was only when you speed it up you saw it.
And that was in the same room that at the time Rick and myself were actually stopping in during the shoot, and because the bed moved, didn't it, on the footage? And I remember sitting in the bed, talking to Rick before we kind of switched the lights off. And strangest thing, the bed actually, the same bed that moved, was knocked or nudged or something. And I was sat in it. I swear blind, it moved when I was sat in it, and there was nobody anywhere near it, because obviously Rick was in his bed, separate beds, by the way. Rick was in his bed, and the bed I was in moved.
Sorry, I was just talking to the people at home watching.
Okay.
Bedroom arrangements.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much. Yeah.
No, but again, that's great fun. But it's like, you know, what else do we need to enhance it? Because, like I say, we've got infrared cameras, we've got digital cameras, all the other equipment that we've got is there really to get natural phenomena or to understand the natural phenomena that's around and discount the paranormal phenomena.
A lot of people perhaps don't understand that the equipment that we use is there as a guide, and should be used as a guide to enable us to come to a conclusion. But again, depends on what your thoughts are. Is it a purely mental thing that people see ghosts? And if that's the case, digital cameras or whatever, any other photography device, photographic device, isn't going to capture it, because it hasn't got the mental link that you would have with it. So even if you can see something straight in front of you and you click the photo, it's not going to show up on your camera. So there are a lot of different ways to think about what it could be.
But what you've just said is good to say that what we use is only a guide. It's not the definitive. It can't be seen as definitive proof either way of what we're seeing. And it's difficult though when you turn up to a place and you've got all your gadgets. And I mean, there's one point we had these torches where they were great torches, and although mine broke, that filmed as they were pointing forward,
right, yeah.
and you had this, which is a great idea, absolutely brilliant, because there's so often you stick your torch over there and you think, what was that? You'd actually have it on there, but then you kind of keep forgetting that I think ghosts know where you're pointing your camera, because they'll never do it in front, they'll always do it behind.
That is so true.
And then again, there's that argument, if you had cameras all around, would nothing happen?
That is so true. I mean, how often have we tried to capture stuff, and sod's law, something happens behind you when you've got the cameras pointing that way, because most of the time the activity you're trying to capture is that way.
Yeah, I think that the other thing is how do you qualify what you've caught? I mean, we've all probably caught doors shutting at some point, and I think now when you've eradicated the possibility of it being wind, draft, or something else, and you've shown there's no wires attached to it, and sadly you have to go through all this thing. I mean, you have to go, right, I'm showing all around the door, there's no wires here, and you know, then some smart aleck, someone will go, yeah, but you hired a 5-year-old child to do that and hide under the carpet so you couldn't see him. You must have done. It's the only way forward. And I've always had a thing with quite a lot of skeptics when they say, when you go, I know there was nothing behind that door and no one was there, and that door shut on its own. It wasn't draft, it wasn't it, and I know, so it must have been some paranormal force that shut that door. And I don't mean Larry Grayson, I just mean any other force. That there's that point where people are saying, no, it's got to be this. In a way, if that's their only explanation, they actually must believe that that's paranormal. They just don't know it yet because their explanation is a load of rubbish. And on that, we have to end this show. Thank you very much, guys, for coming in. Just quickly, what's your website address?
It's whiteroseparanormal.com.
Oh,
Deadhaunted.com.
it's very difficult, isn't it?
Fredbat.com.